Nice.
Commission, yeah.
Ricky, how's it going?
Good.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, June 6th, 2022, at 6 o'clock. I call the Prescott Planning Commission meeting to order. Walter? Here. John?
Here.
Rick?
Here.
Okay, Steve is sick. Haven't heard from John, and Dave is not going to be here. So look for a motion to approve the minutes for meeting of May 2nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, May 2nd, 2022.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. First item on the agenda is a resolution to approve the site plan for the development of a fitness facility at 1125 Henry Street. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor and Planning Commission members. So before you tonight is a fitness facility site plan that was submitted by Bodie Studios. The Planning Commission did review this as a concept plan back on November 1st, 2021, and did approve that concept plan at that time. The site is a 0.63 acre site that's at the intersection of Henry Street and Campbell Street. The applicant is proposing building a 2,100 square foot building for a fitness facility. So the proposed plan, it does fall within the C2 Highway Commercial District, and this is an approved use within that commercial district. Currently, based on what is submitted and the site plan before you there, does meet all the site setbacks. They aren't all currently in front of you, but if you look at your agenda and in the memo there is a table that kind of lists what they're proposing in terms of setbacks and what the actual setback requirements are, and they do currently meet all of those setbacks. In terms of uses surrounding them, they all are commercial, except to the south there is a softball field, and that is technically zoned residential, but still they do meet those setbacks for a residential requirement as well. Just to go over this real quickly too, this does kind of pose an interesting dynamic in terms of trying to make the site work. So in working with them, we did allow, even though the access comes off Henry Street, the building technically fronts Campbell Street in terms of setbacks and meeting setback requirements. The site will be served by a 1-inch water main coming off Henry Street and a 4-inch sewer line. No additional fire hydrants are required, as one exists at the corner of Henry and Campbell. Separately, the developer will be required to submit and apply for all side permits that will be attached to the building or elsewhere. The developer is required also to put in 17 parking stalls, as it is a retail use. So 14 spaces for retail, that's 1 space for every 150 square feet, 2 spaces for their full-time employees that they've indicated in the building, and then 1 space for the handicapped area. And then finally, all off-street parking and building lighting shall be directed again away from all residential properties, and does have to meet our requirement of 3-foot candles at the lot line. The developer was required to submit a landscaping plan. We don't have any hard and fast requirements other than it is a requirement that they submit it. Per the concept plan that was submitted back in November, you could see they are trying to match that as well. There's 4 trees at the front of the property. Per our code, those will be required just to be 2 feet off the property line. And then some area for a rosemary bush, and then finally a row of English laurel bush as well to the left. And you can see those somewhat indicated in the concept plan, which you'll see better here in a second. So yeah, if you look to the left and right, you can see on the image above kind of what they're trying to demonstrate. Again, the architectural, it stands at about 13 feet 6 inches, if I recall, which does easily meet the height requirement for the C2 zoning as well. In terms of the stormwater plan, the stormwater pond is going to be off the west end of the development and will drain into the Campbell Street ditch. The comments from our city engineer were submitted on May 18th, 2022, and will need to be included in the development. They're within your packet. Really, the only issue that they addressed was the typical details for Henderson Street pavement replacement. Curve replacement must include 12 inches of sub-base thickness, 8 inches of base thickness, and then 4 inches of asphalt thickness. That's more so for the area that is going to be needed to be replaced on Henry Street, which is actually something we can work with the developer, because if you have seen Henry Street recently as a result of Quick Trip, it is in a very bad state. So that's one of the actually things Quick Trip will be working to address. So if there's possible ability to get in and do that work before that is addressed, I think that would help the developer and also potentially realize some cost savings as well. They won't have to pay for a street opening fee then additionally as well as part of that. And then finally, a stormwater management agreement, which is in your packet for tonight, will also have to be signed before the building permit is issued. So in terms of the approval schedule, first received it on May 6th. The complete application was on June 2nd, and then plan commission tonight, and then it'll go to council next week, assuming it is approved tonight. I won't go over all the conditions of approval. There's a number of them in here. It covers many of the things that we already talked about. Kind of just the last one that they had, I'll go back to the landscaping here in a second, just to note that there's a trash enclosure. One of the conditions is that that trash enclosure is maintained to the likeness of the building and that it screens the garbage and rubbish from Henry Street and the residential property to the east as well. So with that, I'll turn it over to the Plan Commission for comments and questions regarding the site plan.
Is this site going to have its own retention pond, or is that just going to drain into the sewer system on Henry Street?
Nope, it will have its own retention pond off to the west there that our city engineer did review, and then from there as it drains out. I should note too, Jonathan Bartling and Courtney Franklin are both here. They're the developers as well if you have questions for them. And Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the site will drain out to Campbell Street from the bioretention pond, stormwater pond that is on the west of this site.
Anybody else?
The repairs on Henry Street, are they going to be done before this project starts, or?
Well, that was one of the things that we were going to possibly discuss, is if ideally that they could get in there before those repairs are done, get the sewer lateral and the water laterals put in for the project, and then so when Quick Trip comes in and replace it, we don't have to do a patch job. Generally, we charge a $1,000 street opening fee for it as part of any development, so as they come in and rip up the road and then patch it, that's part of a requirement. But if we could do that before.
Can I speak up about that?
Sure.
Too? So, I do
Need you
plan
come up here,
to.
please,
What was
so
that?
that the audience can hear you.
What was that?
We're televised live.
Oh,
We need you to come up to the podium, please, tell us who you are
okay.
and all that good stuff, please.
I'm Courtney Franklin. I'm the developer of Bodie Studios. I was going to take pictures of Henry Street because it is pretty tore up already from Quick Trip, but I think our projects will be happening simultaneously for the most part. So I think I agree with you if we can hold off on them repairing anything that needs to be repaired, and then we could work together to, if we cause any damage to Henry Street, to do it at that time.
Okay. No sense in repairing it twice.
That's right.
Courtney, is that a garage door?
No, it's not. So if you go back to that, I can kind of explain
Bring
that.
back that landscape photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Nope, so actually what you're looking at, so it's actually two different kind of cubes, I guess, if you want to look at it. It's a modern design. That's an inlay, so it's an inlay of light wood, and that's where the entrance is. So you can see there's kind of a illustration of people coming in and out. The
Okay.
door is actually right here.
Sure.
You walk in here.
All right. And then this, so like, if you're looking at this, you'd be looking at this, you're kind of standing in the parking lot?
Yeah,
Yep.
so this faces,
Gotcha.
actually faces Campbell. So I just think for aesthetics and everything, it's gonna make that area just really pretty. When people driving by, it's obviously a very busy street. They're not looking at the side of a building, they're looking at, a beautiful building.
And then there's like grass between the parking lot and the studio?
Is there some, or
So
we?
Just trying to get this idea.
Yeah.
sorry. So this rendering that you're looking at here was put together before the final site plan.
Okay.
And so this is concrete right here. There'll be grass to the right and some grasses here to the left, and then grass kind of all around the parking.
Okay.
But this is kind of the edge of the parking here.
All right, so where the biker is, that'll all be grass
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the wood will be lit back, the Bodie Studios will be backlit, so that'll kind of light up at night. And we know we need to get the signage permit for that. And then there'll be a strip light in that recess that kind of washes over the wood at night, that kind of leads you into the entry.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have anything else? Okay, so we need to approve the resolution to move it forward to council?
Yes.
Okay, we have a resolution 18-22, resolution approving the site plan review for the development of a fitness facility at 1125 Henry Street. I'm not going to read it, it's quite lengthy, but I'll need a motion to approve the resolution to approve the site plan.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution of the site plan.
Have a second?
I will second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a proposal to review and amend Chapter 635 from Cedar Corporation. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor and Planning Commission members. So Chapter 635 is the current zoning chapter within the zoning code. So just a little bit of background. Back on October 4th, I should say, of 2021, the Plan Commission did consider a proposed change to the C2 Highway Commercial Zoning District. Although it passed 4-0 within Planning Commission, after the first reading at council, we did decided to move it back to Ordinance Committee. The proposed change would have adjusted some uses, would have made manufactured and mobile, or I'm sorry, would have removed entirely from the C2 district warehousing, wholesaling, and storage establishments, which would have been permitted within the industrial zoning. And then it would have also additionally made special use permits within the C2 districts for mobile home, vehicle equipment sales, and service establishments. So the ordinance committee, after it was directed back to them, decided that it would be best to have a third-party review the entire zoning code chapter of 635 rather than making piecemeal potential changes. So to do that, we gathered 3 proposals that was submitted to the ordinance committee, and Cedar Corporation did come back with the lowest proposal at $17,850, which they did approve at their April 11th, 2022 meeting. So just quickly, the proposal covers quite a bit of Cedar Corporation's proposal. Reviewing the chapter, attending meetings and discussing with staff, attending a minimum of 4 Plan Commission meetings to present and discuss proposed text amendments, presenting working draft, presenting the final pre-draft, providing a copy to the clerk for the public hearing notice, sending approval to the paper, and then finally providing the city clerk with the ordinance and attending the meeting, which officially would adopt any proposed changes. Additionally, then as part of those deliverables, again, kind of covers the exact, just kind of hand in hand as we go through working drafts will then be delivered by Cedar Corporation and move forward. So what are some of the areas of concern besides the current C2 zoning, which was discussed before? One of the areas of concern, and again, this is up for discussion as well for tonight if this is not agreed upon, but one of the one of the areas of concern within the residential districts, we currently have a very high dependence on multifamily districts or mixed residential districts, which basically says anything over 10,000 square feet can be turned into a duplex. So basically all of Great Rivers is included. A lot of the areas that are older are not included because they wouldn't meet that 10,000 square foot requirement for a lot size, but if you have double lots that could be combined, that could be matched. So the idea would possibly be looking at our zoning to take a look at potentially moving away from some of those mixed residential districts and moving more to like a single family. I don't know That's one of the things we'd be looking at as we move forward of that potential interest. Additionally, the light industrial, we have an area of light industrial that's for the most part surrounded by residential, looking at if we want to do anything with that. Special uses and conditional uses currently within our code go to the Zoning Board of Appeals if there's an opportunity to look at that and see. I'm more familiar, I think, with most cities have the requirement if it's a special or conditional use, it goes to a planning commission. So just looking at that opportunity to see if that is something that we can do. Solar zoning, we've been approached by one potential interest of a solar. Additionally, upcoming electrical vehicle charging, we don't have anything within our code for electrical vehicle charging. Additionally, accessory dwelling units to residential districts have becoming more popular in terms of, sometimes the older generation wants to move in with the family in terms of above a garage or separate. We don't currently have any sort of within our code to address that. And then again, looking at those C2 zoning classifications. Those are just some areas of concern and interest potentially that we'd look at. There could be more as we go through it, but that would be something we'd work through with Cedar Corporation as we go through. Just to give you an idea of the zoning map, it's hard to read, but you can see R1 is at the top there, mixed residential, and then R2 is the multifamily residential, so that's predominantly spread throughout our whole community. Mixed residential makes up the vast majority of our residential, and then multifamily residential is, I'm going to admit that I am colorblind, but I believe multifamily residential is all the Great Rivers kind of area off Dexter Street. So with that, the recommendation before Planning Commission tonight is review the proposal. Bob Colson with Cedar Corporation is here as well to answer questions and have any discussion, and then consider recommending it to City Council for approval. So I'll turn it over to the Planning Commission for comments and questions.
Do you have anything? So we're just gonna, if we approve this, we're moving it forward to council, correct?
Yeah, so we'd have it on council at next Monday's meeting if it's approved
Okay.
tonight.
So we have a confirmation of client requests for services between Cedar Corp and the city of Prescott. Need a motion to approve the agreement, and it is for $17,850 to Cedar Corp.
I will make that such a motion to proposal to review and amend chapter 635 Cedar Court.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, other business, the next meeting is Tuesday, July 5th at 6 p.m. being that 4th of July is on Monday, so it'll be on Tuesday. Any other business? Look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.